Good evening, hikers, and thank you for tuning in to another broadcast of Acadia After Dark's Park Updates here on the only radio signal stubborn enough to claw its way through the fog and out into the murky depths of the Atlantic. Coming up tonight, Maine Weather. Like the other weather, but with a grudge. At the school board meeting this week, tensions boiled over. This time it wasn't because of the coffee. And the Agropelter are back in the pines. Keep your eyes up and your hard hats on. But first, a breaking story unfolding even as I speak. I'm receiving word of an incident at Old Man Moriarty's farm. First responders are on the scene. Witnesses report a large, pale shape, antlers like driftwood, eyes like the moon through ice, tumbling into the old stone well behind the barn. Some say it was a deer, others a trick of the fog. But those who've lived here long enough know better. The description matches our elusive Specter moose, the one that's been seen pacing the tree line since the winter of '47. The one that leaves no tracks in the snow. The well is deep, older than the farmhouse, older than the road. Folks say it's bottomless, though the water sometimes whispers back. We'll return to this story as more details surface, if they surface at all. But in other news, last night's school board meeting ended in what officials are calling a regrettable display of civic engagement. The trouble began when a teacher made a controversial remark regarding the recent death of a prominent member of the community of giant deformed floating heads. The ones who drift across the college campus, attempting to lure students into endless debates on social topics. The teacher has been placed on leave. The board declined to release their name, citing safety concerns and the difficulty of disguising a human face among so many floating ones. Local provocateur Timothy Freedom Wizard 72 Boudreaux attended the meeting to voice his outrage. Witnesses report he shouted about coastal communist witchcraft and accused board member Darla Buck of being in league and in bed with the snake people. This prompted fellow board member Andy Funaro, who, as everyone knows, is a snake person, to leap to Darla's defense. Funaro allegedly struck Freedom Wizard 72, knocking the iPhone from his hand. The scuffle was live-streamed on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Rumble, with clips quickly spreading across social media. It's embarrassing and, quite frankly, disgusting to hear such derogatory language in the year 2025, said Darla. Effective immediately, all mobile devices must be turned off during meetings. Furthermore, the use of magic of any kind will now be forbidden inside the assembly hall. This new policy is expected to cause friction with the local coven, who rent the hall each spring for their annual bake sale and banishments fundraiser. The coven has not yet issued a statement, though the smell of scorched cinnamon was reportedly detected drifting from the woods behind the municipal building late last night. And we've just received an update on the developing situation at Old Man Moriarty's farm. The local volunteer fire department is on the scene and has confirmed that the large white animal which stumbled into the well is, in fact, one of our elusive Specter moose. Its antlers like bleached shipwreck timbers and eyes reflecting light that isn't there. Crews are attempting to winch the creature out, but progress has been complicated by the animal's non-corporeal nature. The harness passes through it like smoke through a screen door. One rescuer reported feeling colder than January in the graveyard after making contact. Our thoughts are with the brave volunteers working to free this legendary guardian of the forest. We will check back later in the broadcast. And now, the weather. Maine residents can expect a turbulent start to the season. Not only will we see the first frost of the year, but meteorologists are warning of a rare phenomenon they call fire weather. Fire weather is exactly as bad as it sounds, says volunteer firefighter Corey Green. The soil cracks, the streams shrink to nothing, and the air itself turns volatile. You can smell the spark before you see it. We're already stretched thin. Tourists lighting campfires, smokers flicking their butts into the brush, and now it's sacrifice season. The cult that runs the coffee shop is getting restless. As a reminder, all open flames are prohibited, no matter how compelling your excuse. We've nearly lost this park to fire before, and the scars are still visible in the blackened pines along the ridge. No one here is eager to watch that happen again. And hikers, we've just received confirmation from the scene at Old Man Moriarty's farm. The Specter moose has finally been freed from the well. According to reports, one of the witches in the area, for reasons that remain politely unexamined, suggested inscribing the come-along straps with binding sigils. This allowed the harness to catch on the antlers of the great white animal, antlers that until now have resisted every earthly tool. With the steady groan of a 22,000-pound winch, the pale giant was hauled up from the darkness, water streaming from its coat, its eyes piercing into the very souls of bystanders. The last time a Specter moose wandered this close to town, the restaurant burned down to the ground before dawn. So it is perhaps a good omen to see this one turn back toward the tree line without incident. Tonight we're reminded how fortunate we are to live among such resourceful, unflinching neighbors. The kind who will drop everything to help someone in trouble, even if that someone stands 15 feet tall, wears a crown of bone, and belongs more to legend than to daylight. And now, our final story of the evening. Fall has settled over the park, and as all the newlyweds and nearly deads are flocking to our corner of the coast to take in the blaze of color and the brittle, salt-tinged air, this year has already broken visitation records, and autumn shows no signs of slowing the tide. Unfortunately, it's also the height of breeding season for some of the park's less hospitable residents. The Agropelter, a notoriously territorial cryptid, will defend its hunting grounds with unnerving precision. In mating season, their aggression multiplies. Visitors are urged to keep to marked trails and avoid wandering into unfamiliar stands of forest. That should keep you clear of their territory. Should. If you do find yourself in the wrong neck of the woods, the Park Service offers the following survival tips. 1. Watch the canopy. Agropelters favor the highest branches of our hardwoods, where they can drop down without warning. Look for movement where there shouldn't be any. Next, avoid red. The color is said to send them into a relentless pursuit. No one knows why, or at least no one who's found out has been able to tell us. And finally, listen for knocks. A sharp rap on wood may be a warning, or the last thing you hear before the branches shake. Over the next few weeks, activity will spike. As the foliage peaks, the Agropelters will begin seeking prey to carry off. The Park Service advises all visitors to keep pets and small children leashed at all times. That's all for this week's update. Thank you for tuning in. I'm already looking forward to next week, when we'll be introducing a new intern, a brave soul who's volunteered to help out around the station. We wish them the best of luck and perhaps a little divine protection. Here's hoping this one lasts longer than the others, or at least leaves something behind we can return to their family. Until the next time, keep your lanterns lit and stay safe out there.